ABC. How's everybody? Back finally to a recent Vinyl Finds video. Get some of the stuff out of my recent arrivals crate onto the shelves. As promised in Anthony's video that I started last night, I started making a video on the weekend, so here I am. Recent Vinyl Finds. I'm going to split this into two videos. I think the battery's dead on this. Anyway, great start. Just have to do it the old-fashioned way. This is what's in the background. Haven't had this in a long time. I bought this off Anthony a couple of years ago. He upgraded to like a fancy audiophile pressing. This is my favorite track off this album, which is Mimosa. Has this really cool island world drum thing going through. Really cool. Adventures and Dimensions on Blue Note, Herbie Hancock. Fantastic. Alright, so recent Vinyl Finds. If you like jazz, you've come to the right place. This is mainly jazz and a couple of progressive things at the end. We'll get stuck into it. All the way over here. First one, you all know this record. Another Pharoah to add to the collection. Jewels of Thought. In my mind, I always think there's not that many Pharoahs to pick up, but there kind of is. Like, I always seem to forget about handfuls of them. There you go. Killer lineup as always. I won't read them all out. This sort of has that same theme with one really long track on the first side. Oh, there's actually two really long tracks on both sides. Sun in Aquarius and the B-side, Hamala. On the first side. Killer, amazing saxophone playing. There's a saxophone solo in here. This free, squawky thing that just jumps out of the speakers. It almost gives you a fright, you know. Jewels of Thought, Impulse, Pharoah Sanders. Fantastic. I also came with this really weird inner sleeve I've never seen before. ABC Impulse. Really cool. Kind of very retro 70s. There's the sleeve. That's the label. Really great shape. In fact, the Pharoah Sanders records that we see down here are usually pretty beat up. This one is in great shape. Like, look at that. Almost weird how great the shape is. Okay, next one, it was a big want list item. I've been holding off for ages because I didn't want to get a reissue or anything like that. This is sort of a reissue, but this is a Japanese pressing in absolutely stunning condition. Out to Lunch. As you know, this is a cornerstone jazz record, absolutely essential, so out there, so spacious, so out to lunch. I love this record, and this thing sounds freaking amazing. This is a Japanese king pressing. Yeah, it sounds so beautiful, so nice to get a really clean early pressing. And because it's so quiet, the music pops out so much. Yeah, even my girlfriend was just smiling, and she's not really into the weirder bits of the jazz, but she said that the sound's incredible. Brilliant record. Let's have a look who's in here. Freddie Hubbard, Eric Dolphy, Bobby Hutcherson, Richard Davis, Anthony Williams. Out to Lunch. Smiles all around. I tell you what, I can't show you the label. There you go. Where are we going? This way around. So the next record, it's got a bit of a story behind it. show you the record first, which I've shown a few times before and championed it. Fred actually introduced me to this record originally. He played his copy of it at Anthony's house maybe two years ago, maybe around 1.5, 2 years ago. And I picked up a Four Men with Beards reissue. And then I was talking to Mike, Champ Sound, and he said that he was missing a copy. And I was, at the time, talking to Eric the Viking, who doesn't make videos anymore, and he was going to send me, I was going to buy off him. He had a really beat up original pressing they said was sort of playable. So I picked up that sort of playable copy and gave my reissue to Mike. And then the timing was a bit weird because Eric's one got delayed, and I ended up giving away my reissue and then getting this copy that ended up being a lot more trashed than I was expecting. So it was basically unplayable, and it just left this really bad feeling. Every time I tried to play the record, I spent a lot of time trying to clean it. I was researching methods on how to clean it, how to get it, see if I could salvage it. It just wasn't happening. Anyway, I decided that. I put an original back on my want list on eBay, and this weird listing came up. Two mint copies of original pressings came up. Pretty pricey, like probably the most I'd probably ever spend on a single record. And I know Anthony wanted one too, so we both decided to go in and pick up a copy each. And I emailed the guy, and he was being a bit suspicious, and he wanted to not use PayPal. Anyway, I did some negotiating with him. He was saying that it was his dad's records. He's selling off his dad's collection. He passed away. This guy was in Italy. He can guarantee it's in mint shape. Anyway, they arrived, and we were both really nervous because who knows what to expect. Maybe he was going to send a reissue. It was just weird to get original Brazilian presses in this condition. It's so weird. It's like a brand new record. The only weird thing is there's a seam split on the top, which is so tiny. Like, this is an original Brazilian pressing, and it's in this shape. It's out of this world, Although I did pay for it. I'm not saying that I got some crazy bargain or anything like that. Like, I paid the going rate for a mint copy of that record easily, and so did Anthony. But yeah, it is in mint condition, and it's just such a stunning album. Look at that. I might actually put someone in the background. Change the mood up a bit. If you can bear with me, one momento. So we've got side 2 on at the moment. So nice to hear this without lots of pops and scratches and crackles and distortion and stuff. Sounding great too. Next up, this way. Another big want list item off. And a little bit. Don Cherry Where Is Brooklyn came out in 75 or something like that. A later one. As you can see by the Blue Note logo being the Liberty logo. This is Don Cherry doing straight up free jazz, no messing around, no like themes or how some of the Blue Note stuff on his have sort of a conceptual theme or like a longer pieces. These are just straight up. There's like 3 tracks on side 1, and then side 2 has 2 really long tracks. But it's just no messing around, free jazz, really interesting interactions. Sounds like an Ornette Coleman record a little bit, but with Pharoah Sanders playing, so it adds that. You know how Ornette Coleman sounds sort of dense but kind of light and sharp? This sort of is free jazz but has that grittiness of Pharoah Sanders with Don Cherry, Henry Grimes, and Ed Blackwell. So really cool, great artwork. I've been wanting this for ages, so I was happy to get a copy of this locally. Weirdly in Australia, a guy was selling it, so I picked it up straight away. Original pressing as well. There you go. Don Cherry Where Is Brooklyn. I highly recommend it. It's not extreme free jazz, but it's just no messing around free jazz. No build-ups, no nothing. Just the moment you drop the needle, they're off. It's great. Okay, so I'll explain this a bit more in my next video, but I did a massive trade-in at a record store, my local record store. I'm so lucky to have this record store near me. It's the same record store that Anthony and I just flashed the record there. That Anthony and I talk about a lot. It's his local record store as well. I got this Soft Machine. Yes, this is an original pressing. Has the amazing wheel happening here. I'll do a little demo if I can. There you go, so that sort of rotates. So cool to have this brilliant record. I don't know what else to say really. Killer. Been wanting this for quite a while as well. I think this version of the album was actually banned in the UK because of the naked woman, and they put a bikini on her or something like that. Great record in great shape. Again, I paid for it. I'm so happy to have it. I actually didn't pay technically for it because I traded stuff in for it, but it was like, I think it was 80 Australian dollars, and you can get reissues for 36 Australian dollars. So I thought, I'd much rather have an original. It feels so much better. The original with the working part too, the reissues don't have that. For me, it was a no-brainer. The Soft Machine and Prog, awesome progressive. Prog progressive, I'd say it's progressive music, progressive rock, amazing. The Soft Machine gets talked about all over the VC and a lot. I'd say along with Pharoah Sanders, they're definitely like a universally admired VC band. And then the last one, I picked up this for really cheap. I think it's really cheap. I got this at a local record, so local Daniel Hosking. He makes videos, Vinyl Hosky. This is 7, but it's the US pressing with the alternative cover. The original UK one has like a robotic head thing coming out. It's like a bluey grey colour. Champ Sound showed this recently, or maybe he didn't show it, but he was talking to me about it. I can't remember. Soft Machine 7. This is so good. This is fantastic. I listened to Third and then listened to this, and then I was feeling this a lot more at the time than the other one. Yeah, really cool keyboard sound on here running through it too. Soft Machine 7, there you go. So yeah, that's the end of the video. Kept that pretty short. 14. What is that? So 3 minutes per record. That's quite a lot actually. Stay tuned for the next one. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you all soon.